Welcome to Omega Study Circle. Today we are going to discuss about the Protection of Human Rights Bill 1993 and Amendment 2018. Prior to discussing about anything about human rights, let us discuss about this lady. Probably you may know the name of this famous lady. Yes, she is Amal Clooney, the most famous human rights lawyer nowadays. She is an acting member of Permanent Court of Arbitration. Uh, you may know what is Permanent Court of Arbitration, but if you want to know what is actually the Permanent Court of Arbitration, let me know. I will discuss this later about. For time being, I have a question for you. Tell me where is the headquarter of the Permanent Court of Arbitration? So she is Amal Clooney. She is one of the most active member of Permanent Court of Arbitration. There are a lot of cases from 2014 to 2018. She has defended. Out of six, she has won five. Only one case she has lost, but that was not her fault. That was due to the Greece government who denied to go for any further petition or further court proceedings. So let us discuss about what is Human Right Bill 1993. At first, what is Amendment of Human Right Protection Act? So Government of India approved the Protection of Human Rights Bill 2018, 4th April. 4th April, Union Cabinet has been approved the Amendment of Human Right Protection Act. What actually they said about the amendment, they told this amendment is for better protection and the promotion of the human rights. We'll discuss it about the amendment in later on. What actually the human right is? The human right relating to the life, liberty, equality and the dignity guaranteed by the constitution. So whatever the rights you have given via our constitution, that is the human right, and embodied in the international covenants, means whatever the rights you have given through international like mutual international covenant, that is also human rights for you, enforceable by courts in India. So what is the courts or the our court, what they have verdict, it's also a human right for us. I have a question for you. Tell me what is the Human Right Protection Act 1993 and comment me in later. So whether the human right, what I told in previous slide, whether it has implemented it properly or not. So who now someone has to monitor this one. So to monitor whether the human right has been prevailed throughout the India, throughout our country, like prevailed in a right manner. So who is responsible to see that thing? So National Human Right Commission is responsible to see whether our people has attained or has entertained their human rights or not. So National Human Right Commission is one of the most important commission formed by Government of India. So National Human Right Commission consists of the retired Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. He is the chairperson for the National Human Right Commission, and the other members are: one is Judge of Supreme Court, one Chief Justice from a High Court of any states, two government representative, I will discuss it later on, and the National Commission for Women and National Commission for the Minorities, SCST. So by virtue of their designation, they are automatically a member of National Human Right Commission. He is H.L. Dattu, our current chairperson of National Human Right Commission. Now, what is the government representative? Actually, President of India have power to appoint two representatives from government side to National Human Right Commission. And who told, like who has right to choose who is going to be the representative from Government of India? So it's a committee, it's a parliamentary committee who has right to choose the representative, and this committee consists of PM of India, two speaker of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, opposition leader, and one cabinet minister. They normally choose the name of the person who is going to be the member of Human Rights Commission. Normally, the person must belong from a field of human rights, and they has been appointed by President of India as a member of Human Rights Commission. Normally, the period for Human Rights Commission or the chairman of Human Rights Commission is 5 years, or else up to his age is 70 years, and the for the member is also 5 years, but the one exceptional case is they can be re-elected for another 5 years. So maximum a member can be a part of National Human Rights Commission is 10 years. Other than the members, one secretary rank officer from Government of India and one DGP rank officer is also appointed from Government of India. Now, if you want to sack, so only power who can sack any member of the Human Rights Commission is President of India. Remember that one. That Prime Minister doesn't have any power to sack any member of Human Rights Commission. Only President has such powers. This is the symbol of Human Rights Commission. So what are the functions of Human Rights Commission? So they can inquire, depend on the petition by the victim. So let's say A is a victim. A normally lodge a complaint to Human Rights Commission. Depends on his complaint. Human Rights Commission can investigate whether actually the human right has been violated or not. Or suo motu, like they can by their self investigate it. There are several cases of human right violation, like if you remember the recent pellet gun case in Kashmir. In that cases, National Human Rights Commission by suo motu they has been started investigation whether human right has been violated of the protester or not. Negligence in prevention of Human Rights Commission, so they have power to to prevent that. They can investigate that our judiciary system whether they have neglected, they are neglecting in prevention of human rights, like someone is under in any critical condition in which the human right has been violated, and our police forces and our judiciary is just overlooking that thing. Then National Human Rights Commission have power to say that you are overlooking that thing, you are going to summon for that one, you are neglected that thing. So they have such a power. Visit any jail of state government to prevent any violation of the human rights. So they can prevent any like in any jail any such any such your resident of the jail whether they are suffering any violation of human rights or not. That can be also it's a function of the function of investigation part of Human Rights Commission. Study and implementation of the international rights. So there are several international rights for human rights commission, human rights by United Nations or by UNESCO, and there are several agencies. Whether all these rights are rightly implemented or perfectly implemented in our country or not, that can also be a function of that is also a function of Human Rights Commission. Spread human rights literacy among the various section of the people. So every layer of the social structure should have knowledge about their human rights, and it is also a function of human right to see whether every layer of our country or our social have they know like what is their human rights and what are the acts, so what are the act that can violate their human rights. So it's a part of that, it's part of human right function. And encourage the NGO. So uh, Human Rights Commission normally function through NGOs. So NGOs are the prima facie evidence. They normally show Human Rights Commission that in that sector the human right has been violated. Power of commission. So while investigating any cases, for example, A is a case. While investigating any cases, Human Rights Commission have equal power of civil court. So they can summon a person A, they can ask, they can investigate a case. But the one basic difference between the civil court and human rights court is if you give any kind of false statement against in front of civil right court, for that false statement you can send to a jail. But for human right commission there is no such provision, like you can give a false statement to human right commission but you are not going to put in any jail. It is a question from my side. What is the human right day for India? Tell me in comment box below. Investigation. So, for investigating any cases, Human Rights Commission can use any judiciary power, like both central government as well as state government. So, for example, Human Rights Commission is investigating a case A. So, if they want, they can use CBI, they can use NIA, or for any state government police force. So, for example, WB police or example Karnataka police, they can use any kind of state government or central government agencies to investigate the cases. What is the human right cases? Normally abuses by the armed groups. So I already told you in case of Kashmir, Human Rights Commission had started investigation. Caste-based discrimination and the violence. So is if there is any discrepancy between the or like discrepancy for the SC/ST people, or they has been tortured by any other, that is also human right cases. Communal or ethnic violence, if there is a communal violence in between Hindu Muslim and other like Hindu Muslim, Hindu Christian, in that cases there is a phenomenon of ghar wapsi. Several phenomena here happened in India. All that cases is under investigation of human rights. Corporate accountability. So it is a case, for example, a company A who has acquired a land for normally the tribal people. In that cases, human rights have power to investigate whether the rights of tribal has been perfectly assessed or not. In that cases, it's a function of human rights commission to assessment to do the assessment whether the rights or whether the rights of tribal has been violated or not. Freedom of expression. So you have already known that the civil journalist has been shot dead recent date. So in that cases, if any freedom of expression has been violated, so human rights commission has power to investigate such cases also. So now come the state human rights commission. State human rights commission comprises with one retired chief justice of high court, one judge from high court, one judge from district court, but provided he or she has a 7 years of experience. State representative, it has been appointed by the state government and appointed by the governor, but recommended by the state government or one committee headed by the chief minister of that particular state, one secretary rank officer and one DGP rank police officer. In for case of West Bengal from 2014 onward, West Bengal doesn't have any chairperson for the State Human Rights Commission. He is Ashok Ganguly, the Chief Justice of High Court of Kolkata High Court. He was the last chairperson for the State Human Rights Commission, but for any sexual abuse cases, he has been retained from his post. And since then, from 2014 onward, West Bengal doesn't have any chairperson for Human Rights Commission. Intervention between State Human Rights Commission and National Human Rights Commission. What is it saying? Any case inquired by the National Human Rights Commission or any State Human Rights Commission, then corresponding state Human Rights Commission will not inquire it again. What does it mean? It means, for example, a case A, if it is inquired by National Human Rights Commission or give a verdict, then after finishing the task, State Human Rights Commission will not again reinvestigate that thing, or for vice versa, like State Human Rights Commission has done the investigation and give the corresponding verdict, the National Human Rights Commission will not come and again revisited that things. That is the intervention. Like if I do the investigation for the case A, then that is I am the only power. Either it may be a State Human Rights Commission or National Human Rights Commission. They are the only commission. They will do the investigation of the case. Court proceeding. It is designated that human rights courts in every district of India. It has been said in 1993, but unfortunately up to 2018 there is no such a human rights courts in India in any districts which is only designated for the human rights cases. January 4, 2018, our Chief Justice of Supreme Court Deepak Mishra have said some, like he is quite annoyed for the cases that no state have such a human right court for only human right cases. In that cases, he has given some verdict. He told as soon as possible start proceeding to open the court which is only designated for the human right cases. Now come to the amendment of 2018. It has been passed on 4th April. I already told you 4th April 2018. What is the case? Enlarge the scope of eligibility for the chairperson and member of NHRC and HSRC. What does it mean? I already told you, to become a member or chairperson, you have to have a chief justice or a retired chief justice, something related to High Court. Now, what is central government has told by this amendment, that enlarge the scope, like only not only the chairperson from the court proceeding or judiciary system, but incorporate other social famous persons. They may not be the judiciary person, they may not related to any court proceedings. They may come to any layer which is corresponding to the human rights. They may also they may also become the chairperson of human right commission, or member become any human right commission. Equality of period in chair with other commission. What does it actually mean? It means if the human rights commission have a period of 3 years, then it should be equal with other commission. For example, say railway has a commission who have the periodicity, or who have the longevity of that commission is for say 3 years. Then let us amend in such a way that human rights commission also have a period of 3 years. So every 3 years human rights commission has to be changed. I'm saying 3 years, let's say, but it is not still clear how many years for the period. It may increase from 5 years, or maybe decrease from 5 years. National Commission of Child Right as a deemed member of NHRC. Two member is the deemed member of NHRC. One is Women Right Commission and Minorities Commission. Along with these two, government has proposed to add one thing, that is Child Right Commission, who is going to be the deemed member of NHRC. One additional women member in the commission. I already told you that there are two member normally. Normally, the two member are from government side. They normally has been elected from either state government or national government or central government. Along with two, government has proposed to increase one, and that woman should be a woman, like one, and that one member should be a woman. Sync with global standard of human rights. So whatever the global benchmark of human rights must have to be implemented through our pan India. Like the benchmark has to be applied properly throughout our country's human rights cases. So that is all about human rights cases, Human Right Act 1993. I have given an outline. Hope you have understand. If there is any question or queries, let me know via comment box. I'll discuss again it further. Until then, thank you and have a nice day.